What's going on? We're about to check out this video about Doechii. It's from Hello Yasin. I should have it linked within the description. Alright, let's get into it. See what he's talking about with Doechii. I like her stuff. She has great content.
I share what I'm listening to and my thoughts on music and the business daily for free at helloyousin.com.
What's pop, y'all? It couldn't get any better than this because the conversation around Doechii keeps going up. Most recently, I dropped a video on it just the other day. But now we're getting more and more talk about her on the timeline and within hip hop as a whole, which has clearly ramped up in the past several months. The most recent being Milagro. If you guys are unfamiliar with who Milagro is, she was the front face.
She was heavily involved with the Tory Lanez coverage, right? And I think she might have even been sued by Meg Thee Stallion. And I think she got shouted out in Tory Lanez's new album. But yeah, she's a blogger. Or, can you call it no, vlogging is different. Blogging was more like internet journalism, so she does that.
Facing woman that was defending Tory Lanez and coming at Megan Thee Stallion, and she was facing, or she may still be facing, a lawsuit from Megan Thee Stallion. It wasn't because she necessarily did something like Tasha K did to Cardi B, where Tasha K said that Cardi B had several STDs, I think one of them being incurable, and then she was spreading them, and this wasn't bold right.
And then she admitted that she made it up and conspired to spread that rumor just to make money. Tasha K's not only a fool, but she's a nincompoop.
Bold lie. Nasty. And Cardi B reached out to her and she just wouldn't address it. But it's these articles and these industry pieces that really don't help. And I think it's intentional. So she posts this tweet that says, Rolling Stone has come out swinging to defend Doechii against what they've deemed unwarranted hate. If the disdain is strictly about not liking the music, that's fine. No one has to enjoy everything. But the loudest online discourse feels more like projections of misogyny, queerphobia, colorism, and a fundamental misunderstanding of how the industry works. Well. The irony here is that this same individual that wrote this, not Rolling Stone, the same writer at Rolling Stone, wrote a piece last year to cap off the year on December 31st. Kendrick Lamar embracing his inner hater is a lesson we should all take into 2025. In his feud with Drake, Kendrick didn't hold any punches. As conditions worsen for everyday people around the world, it's a strategy worth embracing. And this is where they say the online hate is unwarranted. Meanwhile, Kendrick Lamar's hate for Drake, it wasn't about not just liking the music. He accused him of heinous crimes. Now, granted, I have said and will continue to say Drake opened up Pandora's box when he decided to bring in his family members, the same way that he did with Pusha T. So gloves were off.
He did. I'm not going to say that Drake was innocent, right? I think Drake was wrong too, and Drake did some allegations as well, right? But I'm not going to act like Kendrick Lamar's a hero for what he did. I'm not going to praise him for that.
And he was going to capitalize on these weird, or what was deemed as weird by the majority of hip hop already, interactions that Drake has had with younger chicks, none of them that are underage, by the way, other than the Bobby Brown situation, which is not uncommon in their industry. So for you to come at somebody for something fake and then talk about, if people don't like Doechii for, the only thing I've seen people not like Doechii for is the whole, her saying she doesn't like straight men, which is, okay, the hell? And then this spurs headlines. And man, it just feels so engineered that they would even use these words because, dog, I don't know if you guys have realized maybe hip hop's lagging behind when it comes to this. People really don't care about being called this stuff anymore, and it does not have the power it had between 2019 to 2021. I would say that was the peak years of people being called this and wanting to pass out because they felt like their life was over. But one account said Punch TDE's Twitter account is worse than a Stan page, by the way. Punch is one of the people that works at TDE, and he's quite vocal on Twitter.
He is super like pro TDE, but obviously he works for them, right? But he go up to fight their battles like nonstop on the internet, which makes you think, what does he do? because like he got a lot of time.
SZA, he works with TDE, and I genuinely think that people are not appreciating the level of I wouldn't say how transparent they are, but the amount of interaction that they give to the fans when it comes to matters of business and things like this, which they don't need to do. Most other labels are not doing it, but he gets into it and says, all right, let's talk about industry plants. LOL. First, has anyone ever been confirmed as an industry plant? They don't need to be confirmed when people see the results. Like Rory, for instance, 2015, he got on that freshman list and he even wore the industry plant t-shirt. People were like, where'd this guy come from? That was a plant. I think he was Love Renaissance, which is Summer Walker's record label now. And they had Six Black, whatever you want to call him. They had him as well, but Rory was the test subject. And then after that, you get to see these, I wouldn't say fishy come-ups, but Love Renaissance was really on a tear after that. So I think they perfected whatever formula they tried testing on Rory with the acts that came afterwards. But Punch goes on to say, okay, so far I've gathered that having a plan and good marketing and promotion makes you an industry plant. Okay. The Gardener. Also, I'm curious, what's this button that get pushed for artists? I'm curious of the thoughts from industry professionals on this. Is the button when record companies decide to spend more marketing dollars? Honestly, I feel like excuses as to why others aren't making.
Yeah. Now we playing stupid. That's crazy. So you telling me that the industry doesn't have a button that they could press, bro? It's a metaphorical button. Usually when artists reference that, they're talking about certain things that can get done for an artist that would not get done without the industry doing things for them. Playlisting, interviews, radio play. Yes, the industry has a huge control over that. Now he's just being dishonest. Like, come on, bro.
It hit me a couple weeks ago. A lot of these conversations are meant to happen with peers and like-minded individuals. That way you have a great convo and take something from it. That's impossible now. Too many different opinions, ages, eras, mindsets, issues, walks of life, etc. And this is true. And he continues on to say, LOL, you guys are so upset, you gotta keep moving forward. Better days are coming for sure. And people are really upset about the situation. Granted, I've already given my opinion on the situation. If you're new here, I like Doechii's music. I discovered it. I've heard about her for at least 2 years, but I decided to...
Doechii has some really good music, actually. Like, I went and checked her out a few years back. Yeah, she got some great stuff.
Sit down and listen to her album that won a Grammy, and I really enjoyed it. I think she's a great artist. Now, there are a lot of other things that are going on with her that I wouldn't necessarily say I don't like. I just don't really have an opinion on or investment into. And one tweet that
I don't really know outside of her music, and I shouldn't say that. And that whacking, she dragging. I don't know nothing about. That's the only two things I know about
that I sent out yesterday, which adds to all of this, is when Doechii's father comes on IG and has to explain the straight man joke that his daughter made. So if you guys haven't seen that clip, she just says the biggest red flag when meeting a guy is that he's straight, which is like, huh? Like, this sounds like it's something that's coming out of 2019 or 2020 Twitch.tv. But I said, you're definitely not beating the plant allegations if your dad has to come out and run damage control for you. Besides, the people mad at her about that joke are not her fan base and will likely never be her fan base. And this is something that a lot of...
I don't understand that joke. I've heard girls say a lot of weird things like that. So I don't get it, right? If it is a joke, I don't know. I've had girls definitely tell me that they were into guys that didn't seem straight. And I was like, what does... Being told I was too masculine is crazy. But I didn't know what that meant. So I don't really understand that.
A lot of people put too much stock into in other ways, but the guys, it's guys that are mad about this. It's not girls. They don't care for the most part. 99% of girls don't care that she said this. They probably found it funny. Guys care about this. The majority of guys are not listening to female rappers. Whatever they tell you, they're lying. They're not listening to female rappers. Is it because they're not good? No.
That's not true. I listen to No Name, Missy Elliott, Eve. Like, this guy's bugging. Foxy Brown. But maybe I'm not the majority. And as far as the joke, I just don't understand it. I wouldn't say I'm mad. I just maybe it's not for me.
Well, it's partially for the reason, but a lot of them just would rather listen to a male. It's kind of like, oh, why would you listen to a UK rapper when you can listen to a US rapper that's just as good? It's a similar line of thinking. And listen, the data supports this, the shows support this. It is what it is. And obviously, I'm talking about straight dudes because like gay dudes, they're obviously not going to care about her saying this statement either. They might find it funny. So the people that are creating this conversation are serving Doechii because now she's getting all this engagement related to it. And I think TDE is brilliantly farming hate on purpose for her to position her as some sort of underdog. I will say when they say push the button, to me, what that means is the Grammy. Not the promotion that's been happening, not the headlines that have been happening, not the publications that have been happening.
Oh, I've seen the Grammy button get pushed. I've known people that was working for certain R&B artists when they got their little pushing campaign, and I know about them going out there months in advance to where the Grammys are going to be hosted, so they could do a lot of smoozing. That's how you say it, smoozing. Ass kissing. It's pretty much and getting their name in there. Shoot, Lizzo was kissing butt for years before she got a Grammy.
And keep in mind, these publications, they want to do good for TDE because they're looking at it like, hey, TDE's got SZA. Well, they had Kendrick Lamar at one point in time, but they built with Kendrick Lamar a strong relationship with these traditional media outlets whose covers still matter. Maybe people aren't going to read the article, but they have there's brand equity with people. And people are like, oh, this was said on Rolling Stone or this was said on Billboard. And that's the same thing with Doechii winning Billboard Woman of the Year. People are like, yo, what's going on here? But to all of that, it doesn't matter, in my opinion, if she didn't win the Grammy. I think that's what pushing the button.
I don't think everything TDE do is gold. Like, what happened to that rapper they had? What was his name? Reasons? I don't think he got a fair shake.
Meant. I'm not saying that she didn't deserve a Grammy. Like I said, the album was really great quality wise, but for her to be the third woman to win it after Cardi B.
Yeah, their rappers don't really do well outside of Kendrick Lamar. Right? Most of their other rappers have more of a cult following, right? Like smaller bases that keep them afloat, like Schoolboy Q. What's his name? Absol. They have their fan bases that just rock with them, like the mixtape era type of stuff, right? Right. I know people that was downloading or going online to listen to Absol, Schoolboy Q, right? Just because they just genuinely rock with them, but it was a smaller base, right? And it seems like that's what most of the rappers, the male rappers, sign with TDE outside of Kendrick.
Lauryn Hill, Cardi B, and Doechii in 2025 doesn't seem like they line up. Even Cardi B, who I think Daniel stole that Grammy and she should have pulled a Macklemore and handed it to somebody else, she was still the hottest artist of that year. Female artist, and honestly, just in general, hottest female rapper, or hottest rapper, male or female that year. But Doechii, on the other hand, it was a different story. So I think after the Grammy, that legitimized her to a degree, and it got conversation around her that when they push the button with marketing dollars and their connections and whatever else may be, it ramps everything up 10x, because there are plenty of artists that...
I'm telling you, I've spent money on marketing. If I could multiply it by 1,000, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, no excuses. I could sell records, right? Trust me.
But you guys don't see that they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to make stick, and they don't stick, and then they just drop them. And then people are saying, oh man, the label just gave up on this artist. But when they do succeed, you call them a plant. And this is the thing, like TDE is not just throwing anybody in front of us. They take time and they take care, and they take a long time to develop these artists. So I definitely don't believe that she's a plant. And this is the thing, man. This plant conversation keeps being flipped around. Look, a plant is somebody that pretends to be independent or seems independent, but is actually signed and getting a lot of funding and industry support. That's not Doechii. She's been signed since as long as we can remember. She's been affiliated with TDE, rapping it for forever.
Yeah, if she was doing Chance the Rapper, doing something like that, then yeah, okay.
So just the nature of the definition is something that people are getting wrong. But let me know what you think about this in the comments. Feel free.
Yeah, I don't think she's a plant, but she is getting pushed heavy, super heavy. She's getting the like new it girl push, but maybe she deserves it. Who knows? Tell me what you think down in the